Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to go over the donations portfolio. I've got $1,000 in there at the moment. I could purchase some of the stocks. Some of the other money needs to go through and clear before I can purchase other ones. And what this video is going to go over are some of the companies that I purchased, why I purchased them, what my thoughts were, basically teaching everyone how I view and look at things. So we'll dive in there. Again, this is just my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. But maybe some of my viewpoints can help you guys make better stock picks, get a little bit better timing. Whatever you're going to use it for, you can use it for whatever purposes. More for education is the way that I'm looking at it. But so we'll dive in here. You're going to lose me. And here we go. So what I have behind me is light crude oil futures. And we're going to start with this. We're up at the top here, and we've broken that to the upside. We're getting kind of a little launch here. This looks like a spaceship with a little rocket stream. At the moment, I'm doing this 8:40 p.m. 3/1 Mountain Time. So the markets are open aftermarket. Looks like it's still going up. I'm just showing you that everything I'm doing, I'm looking at it from a perspective of a long-term hold. So I'm not trying to game the system in the short term. What is short term? Anything less than 4 or 5 years, I'm not trying to play that. I'm trying to play the 5 to 10 year move or the 15-year move that's coming. I am positioning like I'm playing chess. I'm there to win the game. I'm looking for undervalued assets that are putting in large, big bottoming patterns, trying to get them as close as I can to the bottom, trying to get where things are breaking patterns. In 2020, we had a lot of very good entry points where we were at the bottom of the bottom. We were at like the Wyckoff distribution, slingshot bottom. So that's about as best as you can get. And now we're breaking big patterns to the upside. I've got that one breaking a smaller pattern. So I'm just using oil as an example, and how I'm playing this with a big picture view. 2020, this is where you want to be buying. When you get these big capitulation sell-offs, the ratios are super cheap, which means that oil to gold is very cheap. And that's where we want to be looking to load up. It went all the way down, it came all the way back, and now we're breaking this big pattern to the upside. There's a couple of things that I want to just describe in this real quick. Is this event did not disrupt this big pattern. This big pattern remained intact for the move higher. So what's driving these patterns are the interactions of humans. They're creating these patterns. And then the market fundamentals are driving the patterns. So the market fundamentals are the technicals, and the technicals are the fundamentals. I just want to make that clear. So if someone says, oh, he's a technical analysis guy, no, the technicals are the fundamentals and the fundamentals are the technicals. So when I view this chart, I am viewing the fundamentals of oil indirectly by the interactions of humans interacting with each other and creating these patterns. I am viewing what the market thinks of the fundamentals of oil using technical analysis. So that's why I rely more heavily on technical analysis, because I'm getting what the market is telling you. You want to see what the market is telling you. You don't want to fabricate a story, fabricate some fundamental viewpoint that doesn't match what the market has. So I base a lot more things off of technical analysis than I do off of fundamental analysis. And that's why I'm looking at some of this stuff and kind of going over it. So now that I've gone over that, we can see the big patterns. I'm looking at the big picture view. Let's go fishing. What did I purchase? So this is what I purchased. You can lose me real quick. I bought First Majestic Silver. I bought Peabody Energy. Someone wanted me to buy Peabody Energy, and I think it's a good pick. They wanted me to buy CDE, Coeur Mining. So that's another one I wanted to purchase. I bought CDEV on my own accord, EXK, my pick, FSM, my pick, IPI, my pick. Northern Oil and Gas, my pick. Cisco Gold Royalties, my pick. SM Energy, gotta get SM Energy in there, my pick. And Wheaton Precious Metals, my pick. And I put one ETF in there, COPX. Why did I choose a lot of these companies? And we'll go back and forth between these companies and what the charts look like. AG is First Majestic. First Majestic is a silver company. Why did I pick silver? What's the big deal? Well, gold, and I'm going to just kind of zoom in on the right-hand side here. Gold is breaking out of its pattern here. We broke out. We've been moving higher. This is an opportune time to be picking up shares in gold. If you look at the XAU to gold ratio, we're seeing a break that the silver miners are also breaking out against gold. So gold is breaking out of its pattern and the miners are breaking out against gold itself. We should get hopefully a very nice move out of gold. And the XAU to gold ratio is incredibly cheap. It's down here in no man's land. If this were to go back to a more overvalued state, let's say we use it up here at 0.34, we have to go from 0.08 to 0.34 to get to an overvalued state while gold is moving up, which means the mining companies are going to have to drastically outperform gold because gold's a moving target to the upside. So I do think this is a really good area and opportunity to be looking for investment potential. I think silver is probably going to be a little bit more of a leveraged move. So I'm going to get a little bit of both gold and silver. That's what I'm kind of aiming for and wanting to get. And if we were to look at the ratio of the gold to silver ratio, I'm just going to pull that up real quick. Gold to silver ratio, we're probably going to see this thing go down and break out to the downside. This is going to be game on for silver, I think, very soon. Again, guys, I still like platinum too. Don't worry. But I'm looking at potential investments. So I purchased AG. I split the money up. If you notice, I purchased $36 of AG, 3 shares at 12, 18-ish, wherever it is, whatever my cost basis is. It's 3.64% of the portfolio. AG's chart pattern, and this is another reason why I chose AG, is it's a mid-cap type company. It still has some pop, and it's a producer. We've got a pattern that in the short term is breaking to the upside right here. We've got these falling wedges. Everything's falling. Whenever things are tilting downward, they usually break to the upside. So we have 2 tilting downward patterns. We had a little bit of consolidation here. I think it's ready to move on up. Looking at a big picture view, we have a massive pattern that is developed from the 2011 high all the way till today, and we still haven't broken out of it. This is still very young in its move. And this is what I go after, is these young moves. So AG, if you were to put a trend-based Fibonacci extension on this and say that this was the first move of a very big move that's coming, just to give you guys kind of a fractal type analysis, we could easily go to $45 on a 1.618. That coincides with the size of this opening as well. I just roughly put one in there. That's about where it is. So I would say that this is probably going to $45 at least, or higher. That's kind of my guess. So the risk reward here, I think, is really good. We're not pushing, all the risk in the world with some exploration company. This is a producer. I like Keith Neumeyer. I think he's a good guy. I think he can run this company pretty well, and I think it's going to do well in a commodity boom, especially with silver. EXK is my other pick that I chose. EXK and AG both have pretty good leverage to the price move of silver. So that's another thing I look for, is if silver is moving, am I getting leverage to it? We've got this triangle, descending wedge triangle, or falling wedge, that's about to break to the upside. It also has a large, if you just take the tops of this, a big old pattern similar to AG. You can obviously do other things in here if you want to go across, like going across here that we're about to break. I'll put it in there for you guys. You can also kind of go across here. Once we break out of that, I think we're going to get probably another surge higher up to this resistance line at $7.30. So that was another one I purchased. That was EXK Endeavor Silver. I also purchased Fortuna Silver Mines. So FSM, Fortuna Silver Mines, is another one that I like. I was waiting for this to bottom. I'm starting to see patterns that are breaking. That's what I look for. a falling wedge. It's breaking to the upside. I'm getting pretty excited about it. I purchased some shares in the portfolio, and you could see this break. It also had pretty good leverage to the move of silver. Looking at this from a big picture view, you can kind of draw a pattern through here. Not like that, but you know, something on the lines of like this. There's a pattern there, and then you could probably come down here and almost draw a pattern like that or something like that. It's not very pretty, but it's something on the lines of this, something on the lines of that, and then we're going to probably come all the way up to about 10.33, $10. Depending on how you draw this, you could draw it even all the way down here and cut this guy off and hit the closing point there at about 877. We break above this, I think we're going to see a big move as this is a basing pattern. Looking at some of the other ones, it was another one, CDE, also looked pretty good. This was a recommendation from somebody. It's Core Mining. This one looks pretty good as well. You kind of back out here. And we can draw a big old trend line here coming down. We've got that guy. We've got another kind of trend line coming through here. It's a large descending wedge pattern. We've got the pattern where it's a 1, 2, 3 type pattern. We're coming on up. We hit our head. We came on back. We're going to zoom in here. We do have a little bit of buying pressure. We've got a little bit of selling pressure. The chart I don't think looks as clean as maybe EXK or AG, but this still looks really good for a potential investment if you guys like Coherent Mining. This was a recommendation that someone had put for a donation, and I wanted to make sure that they got their money in there. Another one, if we're looking back, that's First Majestic, Coherent Mining, EXK, Fortuna Silver. I also chose Cisco Gold Royalty and Wheaton Precious Metals. Those two there, Wheaton Precious Metals, seems to do very well on a long-term perspective. It's a royalty company. It's got silver. It's got gold. Big picture view, what I like about it is we broke this guy there. I'm going to delete that. We have this nice kind of pattern going across. You can obviously move it up here. It doesn't really matter how it's drawn. We were resting on the top of the pattern. This is a return move, resting type move, and I like buying on these return moves. This one happened to just break out here recently. I would have been a buyer down more towards, you know, down here if I could have, but I opened this up and the money's there. So I chose Wheaton Precious Metals because it looks like it's moving. It gives you pretty good leverage with it earns money through productive royalties. It's not a new royalty company. I think it's going to do pretty well, and it's going to offer some leverage to the move coming up. And with the break like this, and on top of this big old pattern, it's already broken the pattern, and now we're breaking the other pattern. So I think we could see a big move coming up with Wheaton Precious Metals. Another one that I liked is Cisco Gold Royalty. We've got a downtrend line here. We are just about to break that downtrend line. We're breaking this other downtrend line as well. So we've got a long-term break and a short-term type break. And on the yearly, we've got nice, good leverage to the price move. I think we're going to see a break here. We've got a nice little falling type wedge that we're breaking. Everything's breaking right here. So yeah, it may get a little bit of resistance through here. We might have a little bit of a down day coming up, but I would be a buyer in this section up here myself, and that's where I would put some money. Because when it breaks these big patterns, you're going to see a big run, I think, after it breaks. And hopefully this has a good enough leverage to the price move. A Cisco Gold. Looking at some of the other companies I picked up, so that kind of ends the gold and silver type companies. I also picked up Peabody Energy, Centennial Resource Development, Northern Oil and Gas, and SM Energy. And I saw that big break on oil. I won't go over that again, but SM Energy's got a nice big pattern. We're right there trying to break through it. And I like how we're basically squeezing up into this pattern. I am suspecting that oil is going to break to the upside. So I think SM Energy can break through this hopefully and have another big run. fingers crossed. No one knows the future, but that's what I'm hoping. CDEV's got the same type of setup. It's got a nice big pattern here. We've broken it to the upside. We had a little bit of a down day today. Could go down a little bit more. That's fine. I'd like to see, I'm hoping that oil goes higher. That's what I'm banking on. So I'm getting a couple of these companies that have good leverage to the price move. Northern Oil and Gas is another one that I like. This one just freshly broken its downtrend. It's got the double booty bottom. It's peeking its head up over here, and I like it on this break right here. It may have a little bit more time to chill out. It may come back and retest, maybe not. Highly depends on what oil does. Highly depends on what's going on in the markets overall. But I do think this will eventually work its way higher, and it could be a nice, good leverage move. So I wanted to get some exposure to NOG and get it on the radar. BTU is another one that I purchased today. That's a coal company. It was up 8.11%. We got the inverted head and shoulders, the chart break. It came up and kind of wedged in this corner, had an overthrow top, had a little bit of a return move to relax a little bit, and we're coming back up again. If we break through this section here, I think we could probably have a run. You can see a little bit of wicks at the top, a little bit of resistance through here. If we break it, I think we'll have a good run. And we could this could be almost a cup and handle type pattern where it comes up, little handle. It's kind of a mutated one, but yeah, that one looks okay. That was another recommendation that someone had that I used. IPI, Intrepid Potash. It's a fertilizer company and energy service company. It didn't go up as much today. I had a little bit of a down day, but what we're doing is we're sitting on top of this pattern here. It is a Wyckoff distribution. I call it the double booty bottom. It's got the slingshot. It came up to its resistance. It's broken this resistance line to the upside. It's pausing right here, probably going to do a return move, and then I'll see a big move. This is a bloody nose on a monthly candlestick basis. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see we got a little bit of wick at the top. It did end down a little bit today. Well, this on a weekly candlestick. The daily, it ended down a little bit. So it's a kind of a bloody nose type move. We could head a little bit lower, maybe not. I would just be a cost averager in here for a move, but we had nice big buying pressure, smaller selling pressure most likely, and then another return move up. Looking at any other ones, we've got Copx. That is the copper ETF. So the way I'm playing copper is I'm using Copx. This one recently broke its pattern to the upside. So this also has the double booty bottom or the Wyckoff accumulation phase down here. We've broken to the upside. Usually it breaks and it consolidates a little bit, and then I think we're going to see a move on up. Zooming in on it, you can see bigger buying pressure than selling pressure. I still think this is going to stair-step its way higher. So I bought a little bit so it's on our radar, and we can watch that. So those are all the ones I purchased today. Notice I didn't buy any uranium. A lot of those companies are too small, and the money has to clear before buying a penny stock or a small stock in Charles Schwab. I'm using Charles Schwab as my brokerage. I'm using an individual account. You guys can open up Roth IRAs if you make less than a certain amount of money. You'll have to see what the cutoff is. I don't know what it is for individuals. I think for married, it's, I don't know, 160,000 or something like that's the cutoff, something on the lines of that. But that's what I'm using. These are the companies I purchased. I will be purchasing more. I spread it out. If you notice, I'm keeping things at a 7.5%, my largest holding. I'm keeping my percent holdings kind of in that area kind of. And I still have more money to deploy. There's one I have to buy for somebody that wanted me to buy one. I'll go over it once I buy it. It's a very small company. The money has to clear first before I can buy that one. So, and if you guys are donating to the channel, thank you for the donations, for us being able to basically fund this portfolio that everyone can watch and everyone can partake in. If you guys want to donate to the not to this fund, we'll call it. If you want to donate to the fund and you want to have specific shares that you want to put in here, let me know, and I can put it up. I can do the charts of it, and I can give you my opinion on it, and I'll buy it irrespective of what the charts look like. I wish there was ways I could put comments in here on who bought what, so I could say, look, this guy is killing it, or this girl is killing it. Great job on picking bottoms, and you can use this as a way to get better at chart reading too. And it's okay if you guys want me to buy only a share or two. That's no big deal. I can do that. We can follow it. We can create this portfolio and what we think is the best portfolio, and we can monitor it. And I can show you how, what my approach is, what the companies are, why I'm buying these companies. A lot of these companies that I'm choosing have good fractals. And what that means is they've got big bounces. They have leverage to the move. They're also, I would say, more small to medium cap companies. So I'm trying to find that risk reward in here where I'm not taking on overly high amounts of risk, but I'm getting enough leverage for the move to be worth it. So I'm trying to balance the size of the move that I can get from these companies and the risk associated with the companies. This is kind of the sweet spot that I found over investing over many years, is you want to get kind of these mid-cap, small-cap type companies. And when the commodity is going to move a great deal, I want them to be leveraged to the move and to get that leverage to that move. I don't want to go to a company where I may not get the leverage to the move. It may not even perform or be correlated to the commodity itself. And a lot of exploration companies are like that. Some are not. But I wanted to kind of stack the portfolio with a little bit larger companies first that are going to follow the move, have a little bit of leverage to the move, and that I know that I have confidence in that they could perform well with the commodity going up. So that's what I've got for now. I'll touch on it again when I add more into it, which I'll be doing. I really do want some uranium companies in here as well. And if you guys want to donate to the channel, it is in the description link below. It's up to you on what you want to do. You don't have to. And I'll continue to go over this when money goes in here and where I would be deploying money. Thanks for listening, guys. Give me a thumbs up for the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.